record. Hello and welcome back. Lucivre here and
BRITBrat
here to continue the second part to our podcast, continuing bringing more enlightenment on sexual abuse and religious abuse. So I'll let you pick up where you left off, BRITBrat.
Absolutely, girl. So, I was talking about family and my sister and love, and, you know, when we were kids, it was just, like, so crazy, so crazy. But, like, now, like, sadly, my sister, she has 2 kids, and she's trying to use the mom word as a means for trying to not kind of accept certain aspects in our lives. I'm not saying she's in denial, but I love her to death. But, like, as soon as she saw the words Satan in our podcast, she was like, no, I gotta shut it down. And it's like, why are those words such triggers? It's like, and like, I understand people associate a negative context because of religion and all of its graphic details of the revelations and all the evil and all that stuff. But it's like, okay, it's a true story. So when we were kids, every Halloween, our church would throw like a non-Halloween party, and then we'd have a sign in our houses that says, we do not celebrate this religion.
But you're celebrating the religion.
Like, we don't celebrate this holiday as a holiday. We don't trick or treat. We don't condone this at all. And it was like the most embarrassing thing, because all I really wanted to do was dress up in girl clothes and go out and be like, the one day I could get super dressed up and fab and fierce, and it just couldn't happen. So, but like, we watched this, they used to put on every freaking Halloween this video about witches.
I remember that video. My dad was so hung up on that
right?
video.
And it was like, they're sacrificing black cats and all of these evil...
And witches murdering babies.
Oh, no,
and
I'm
yet we have pastors and priests molesting kids. Okay.
You said it right on the nose, girl. And the whole time, now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, because I'm an adult now and I can think freely, I'm like, what if I should do some research on that video? I wonder if the production company was actually a Christian-based company, and it was all like a hoax,
He's like they're figuring us out.
Right?
We gotta put out this crazy video.
It was probably a private church, and they were doing it for like, okay, we're gonna scare all these people into thinking that this shit's 10 times worse than it is. In reality, like.
Who points one finger has 4 fingers pointing back.
Oh my God. Like I said in the first podcast, a lot of my clients were religious-based people, and they were the most kinkiest, freakiest people in the world. I mean, I left a Bible at the door, literally.
You know what? I'm glad you bring that subject up, and I would like to clarify why I chose to pick the patriarchal characters that I did of Lucivre, Satan, and Santa Muerte. It's because these things we're talking about are really dark things, and people refuse to acknowledge them. And sometimes having to play the part of the bad guy and get people's attention through dramatic means is the only way to kind of get their attention into seeing the truth. Because from my experience, people will murder, commit suicide, will do crazy things to avoid acknowledging the truth. They will literally throw out their own family members and let the family member burn at the stake in order to run away from their own skeletons in the closet. And what we're doing, Britney, right here, is the fact that we're speaking up about, hey, we're tired of this stuff going on and not being spoken about, and we're going to stand up for those that are going through it still and that are throwing their lives away because they have it pent up inside them, and they have so much shame that it's tearing their lives apart, those secrets that they're holding. But what I've come to witness is that the fact that we're talking about these things means that the people that quieted us from talking about these things, by us bringing it up, they had to start beginning to look at their demons in their closet, because the same thing probably happened to them. It's a sick cycle that's to continue from generation, generational curses. So this is probably, yes, we're probably making a lot of people upset and mad, but it's because a lot of people are seeing that they've been through similar stuff and they're scared to talk about it. They're scared to even acknowledge and accept to themselves that they went through. It's because it's horrific stuff. It's horrific stuff that we've perfected hiding. And yet we have all these women and people walking the streets. We have the infection has been so big and so disgusting and ugly. Like, there's no way to not talk about this.
And you have people like me who have to laugh about it. Like, if I can't laugh about it now, it's like I put on these little, I wouldn't say facades, but like I have to like hee hee ha ha, you know.
And one thing I always think about is you have these people in places of authority that have great respect from many people, worldwide respect from, yet these people are committing atrocities behind closed doors, and yet they try to put on this big persona of these big awesome people,
successful,
saving
rich,
people, doing awesome
I'm
things,
making the church millions of dollars.
Yes.
Like I have a successful congregation of followers, and in reality, they're probably the most darkest, and they manipulate that. And
it's equally the public's fault for feeding into that too.
Absolutely.
We all have the blood. We all have blood on our hands in some way, form, or another.
Absolutely.
There's not no devil, and there's not no other. I believe there is a force out there that keeps everything in alignment, that keeps the universe in alignment. But there is no devil committing atrocities against us. It's our own ignorance and our own silence that's okaying these things to keep going. So until we all own up to our shit and start talking about these things and begin to open up to our children and say, hey, if your body is sacred to you, even if somebody in your family begins to touch you, like, begin to educate each other on when these things can be talked about and making them comfortable to be talked about, because the shame on sexuality, the shame on bodies and all this stuff, like, it's not doing any good.
And just the same in like gender specifically, just the patriarch of like the male ego versus the female, like, you know, like, who is somebody to tell a woman what they can do with their body, or who is somebody to tell somebody what they can do with any parts of their body?
And that's a very good point. And kind of going back to this part of my family on my mom's side, the women were raised in an orphanage, and it was a religious orphanage, and they used a very lot of religious abuse to okay what they were doing with the children. They were human trafficking the children. Like, my aunt literally went through mental breakdown at one point and ended up in a mental hospital because she broke from being human trafficked. And the sad part is that the PTSD, how the religious context, like you say, like anything that tries to begin to like look into those things, they start attacking it because they feel it's evil, it's against their religion.
Well, look
at
now.
It's the sad part that they were made to believe that those people that were there to protect them and use religion were actually the ones that were like selling them, and the people that their family trusted with them to hopefully giving them a better life when they came from a place of poverty, these people took advantage of that.
And here we are in 2022, and you can speak from experience. I know I can. Even today in the Coachella Valley, at the Mission, if you're homeless or you're struggling and you need to like get help from the community, the only options here are the Mission or little sober living houses. And if you don't have the finances to pay for sober living, you have to go to the Mission. And I know for a fact they wouldn't let me as a trans woman go there because, oh, you're the devil.
And they're very discriminate, and those are very big lawsuits I think they have coming on their hands. And the sad part is that they do have a big thing on discriminating against people that are of gay, gender, transgender, all that stuff.
And non-faith people.
And they really, really have no heart for the people that they're caring about. They are about their money. They care more about their people that donate. They really don't care to invest in classes that actually help people to deal with their traumas and their background and get better. And there's actually a lot of things going on there where the staff are actually sleeping with the clients there and
continuing this cycle of addiction,
extorting the vulnerabilities of the poor, because these are people that have no place to go to and they need a little cash and will do anything for cash.
Absolutely. In the name of the Lord.
and the point is, these are grown adults knowing what they're doing and knowing that what the condition of people that they're dealing with, and covering their asses through doing quote unquote good for the community when they're really,
it's just repeating the cycle that we keep talking about. They make
millions of dollars there,
and we need to talk about this all the time.
And the sad thing is that people with their vulnerabilities and come from poverty really have no idea of their rights because they're not educated on the rights. So it's so easy. The fact that these people are taking pictures
from their trauma.
These people take pictures of them, and that's illegal. If somebody doesn't sign a document releasing you to have an organization to to go ahead and sport that on the media, news media, that's illegal. But these people don't know their rights as a human. Human rights. We're talking basic human rights.
They bank on that, honey.
And it's going on in plain sight, yet people don't acknowledge it because, it's a religious organization.
They must be doing good.
Yeah.
Because they got their stamp of approval because it has the word God all over it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, these are a lot of things that just need to get talking about. And I know for me, I want to share more on my story, but I'm still in the process of processing. Like you said, Britney, we're both in recovery, and I feel part of our recovery, a big part, is voicing this and empowering other people to speak up.
You know, that's what we're doing this for, is to help each other, to empower one another, and help everybody else.
Well, Britney, I want to say that looking back on our stuff, we were powerless over that abuse that happened to us at a young age. And I want to tell all the viewers, all the listeners out there too, that just remember what happens to you, the abuse that happens to you at a young age, you were powerless over that, and that is not your fault.
Absolutely not.
And on that note too, like we've lived through it. That's a big thing right there. Let's give ourselves prop on that fact right there. We lived through that, and we're still here alive, fucking striving to do better for ourselves, acknowledging our rights and our wrongs.
Girl.
We've conquered, we've overcome, and we have victory over these memories that we lived through. And now we're empowering these memories and making something positive out of a memory that's we allowed to tear us down at one point. And the best part about this, and the reason for doing these podcasts and establishing this Order of the Black Flame Sun, is to create fellowship, community, camaraderie, and unity through our hardships and our struggles and the abuse that we've been through, and to realize that we're no longer alone in this, and we're making a decision to speak out and to begin to thrive and to prosper, and to end this cycle of things going on.
And like I told everybody at the gay pride events, when they were like, "You're going to hell. God hates fags." It's like, you know what? I heard the devil has a big dick anyways. Bye.
That's awesome. All right. So on that note, listeners,
stay tuned.
We gotta end it with Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Lucifer. Ave Santa Muerte.
Mwah.
With all respect and love, we're sending out love, light, and peace to y'all. And until next time,
stay tuned.
Prosper and thrive always. You're badass.
Always know that. Bye, Felicia. Sometimes I feel like I just